Hello YouTube, this is Vacuum Man 8 today, Cole's
Automated.
feeling a lot better today. He's got two devices at once, playing gaming and YouTube at the same time. And today we're just going to do like a little unboxing, and I'm just going to show you through some of the tools I use on doing vacuums and things like that. Well, and what are my thoughts on some of these ones as well. So the original set of screwdrivers I've had for a long time, I think it was Christmas present, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, was the Stanley set. These actually were very good screwdrivers indeed. I would recommend these as a starter set opposed to these things here. These lasted quite a while.
Stanley Fat Mats.
These are just standard ones. So these are just, as you can see, these over time do wear away, but they still grip the screws very good indeed. So I would recommend as starters to, instead of going for the very cheap set, maybe get a set of these. They did do of good value. These also did come with various flat end sizes. So you had, this one's very good for budging the bigger screws, and this one, there's also another one here I think somewhere, that's a thinner one, that was good. That one's not very good, but there's like a one in between that and very thin flat surface, so that was very good. So going back last year, I went to Lidl's, popped in there, and I thought, oh, electrician set screwdrivers, quite handy to have around the house. These I just thought weren't very good indeed. They were, I think they were about £7 or something silly. But I'll just show you now, this one here worked very quick. The plastic, well, the actual metal, it's very soft indeed. This one's far better value, I think, for the money. But if you just want these for just, on tinkering around with your light sockets and stuff like that, worth having. But I did find with the light fittings and general electrical things that they weren't quite the right size. And I found that this old school, I think if you compare these two here, these are technically the same size screwdriver. This old school one, which is a Draper or something, was the right size for most of it. I found that this one here, from this set here, was very good for alarms. The best one I found out of the set was this one, but as you can see, the end is chipped. So, some people say they're very good. I'm literally going to be throwing these stupid things here away, because for the amount of vacuums we do, and the problem with very old machines, you need a really good point on them to actually budge these old screws, don't you, mate? Especially when they've been done up for years. Another one I used to use. This is like the one I used to use to undo Hoover Juniors, because it's got a long shaft. Because the standard shaft, I think that's 100 mil, and that one I think is either a 150 or 200. This one was good value overall, but it has wore away. This is, used to call this a B&Q screwdriver, bought separately.
B&Q it.
Yeah, and it was, as you can see, the handle come off on this one, and it was starting to slip. So that one is a very good screwdriver, but it did outlast longer than these. But I think this screwdriver was about £5 on its own. But you need a long shaft for Hoover Juniors. So I decided then to upgrade to this thing. This is one of the ones I still use now. I only really use this one for budging Hoover Juniors only. And it is, I think it's a 400 mil Draper one. I think it was a 5 or something, but the end is still very good on that one. We do use it a fair bit for getting in on those Hoover Juniors. Go right in there and you can get a lot of torque on them. That was a good screwdriver. The next ones we're going to go on to is the Dyson ones. This was the original set, but I did find that the middle set, which is that one, is the one that wears out. I do believe, if I can remember rightly. these are very good, and these will open most Dyson vacuums. They're also magnetic as well, which is very good when they're such small little enclosures to get into. I would recommend these screws for Dysons, and they, you know, they're good quality as well. So if I was actually going to replace these, I'd get the same ones again. Like you say, overall very, very good quality indeed. So as you know, it was Father's Day last week, and Carl kindly got me a set of these. These have been on the hit list for quite a while. These are the Wera craft form laser tip screwdrivers. In the box you get one of these little things here to put in your little shed or whatever, or garage or whatever you got, wherever you put them.
Or your little man cave.
Or you could put it in your living room. Now I'm joking. So I've decided now to bin these. I'm going to cull my screwdrivers, only keep the decent ones.
No.
This one was alright as a backup one. That's one of the ones with the various tips on the end. Quite handy to have, but don't really use that one. So this here is the newest ones. I think these were about 20 odd pound.
Yeah.
Also comes with a nice little sticker in there. Tool Rebels.
What the sticker is?
Tool Rebels. And in here we have a better quality. So these will obviously be better quality than those. And they've got like a tip here, just about to see it. That's got grooves. And the idea of a groove is to help grip the screws, which I would say, if you're doing very old machines like Uber Juniors, Uber Seniors, sometimes they don't quite grip, and that's what causes this to do that. The other thing is getting the wrong size screwdriver as well. So these have been the main two I'll be using out of this set, which is the Posi 2. And that's so you've got in here, I do believe you've got Posi drives and the I think just the cross drives, if you know what I mean. So these are actually marked on the back. So the red set is one. Yeah, so you can look here, look. So they got grooves on the end of them. These are going to be a good upgrade as well. So that's a 5.5. So you can, so when they're in there like that, look, you can see exactly what you've got here. So as long as you can remember which ones they are. So we're going to be using these. It's going to be a bit of an upgrade on the tools. It's a shame really that this one, they didn't have one this size in there really. Because I'll probably use this size more than that one, but should be alright really. So it was money well spent, I think. You know, use the screw, like I said, I wore these things out less than a year. I could take them back to Lidl's or Aldi's or whatever, get refund on them, but they're just not man enough for the job for me. Generally, I wasn't really, when I first had them, I was like, well, no, these ain't quite fitting the screws properly. Like, how can you undo a light, you know, like a light fitting or your fitting or your plugs and that, and they don't quite fit. And I was just using these old ones to do what this one should have fitted. So I don't know about the size in there. I don't know if the German. I don't know if German size is different. The red tops are the ones which the Phillips head. It says that on the side. So that's the Phillips head, and the white ones are the Posi drives, which has got the extra cut in there. Don't really use the Posi drives very often. The other thing I got as well is one of these. I mean, they are generally all the same. Don't matter which brand you get, but this is the Stanley Fatmax wire stripper. Ideal for, I would say, PVC wiring. Not very good on rubber. It's good, very good on flat and white, or the flat cable that you have in your house as well. Very good for that. You can adjust the tension on here It also has a crimping tool as well, so you've got a cutter and a crimper as well. And they're ideal for crimping these things in, you know, when you take the suppressors, you know, the suppressors out of them, innit? But these aren't ratchet, mind you. The ratchet ones, the ones with the ratchet ones, probably better. You're going to make sure that you grab them in and then just keep them in and don't undo it. You just got to hold that. That's where the ratchet ones would probably be a bit better. But this is a genuinely good tool. I think they range from about £7. I'm just going to give you a quick demo of how useful this thing is. You've got a piece of wire like that. Just say you got new flex. And you want to sort of like, I've seen this various times on YouTube, but you can just sort of slide that in like that. You've got a guard there for your measurements, which goes like, if you want a long piece, you fold that down. If you want an end bit, you can just use that like that. So what we do with this, you stick it in like that, and without damaging your inner sheath. So we're just going to do this. So you make sure that's right in like that, and then you sort of it's ripped it there. So that's ripped that cable there. You pull that off. Normally be a better cut than that if I did it two-handed, but I have done it one-handed. So you've now got a clean cut there without damaging the inner wires, which is very important, because if you use a Stanley knife and you get these two slit, you could have an electrical issue. Next thing, when you want to strip the ends off, we want to make sure this one is tensioned right up. You got a tensioner here. We'll tension that one up. Right, we'll try and get this one-handed. So I've got this one now set up, look, and all you do,
cut,
and then that's it. It pulls off, and you've actually got two wires stripped off perfectly. Very handy that one is. Worth the money, I think. Like I say, cheap set probably do. Just depends how often you use it. This one, I think, is stretched a little bit over the years, but it's okay. And it is very good for stripping back wires. And you can actually, like you say, you can use Stanley knives and bend them, and either bend the cable like that and Stanley it off, you know. But I just found that is probably the safest way, and there's no chance of you damaging the cable and the inner sheath. I also use this one, which is a set of vice grips for holding shafts when you're taking out brush rolls and stuff, and sometimes undoing the spindles off the end of a Hoover Junior and Hoover Senior. The other thing I got as well, I mean, you don't really need it, but I'll do a bit of soldering occasionally, and I've got this little set here. I think this was a very good value soldering iron. What I like with this one is you've got the stand in there. It is quite a small soldering iron. You've also got a switch on the handle, so you can switch it, plug it in, and you can switch the thing on and off. So that's a good one. It also has got a sucker as well for sucking out solder, your tweezers. So that was 12 quid, and I would recommend, yeah. And it also does come with a full set of tips as well, and also comes with heat shrink. Just a quick insight of some of the tools that we got around the house for doing it. I don't bother the toolbox because personally I like them like that. You know, it doesn't take a lot of room up. You know, you can stick it in a cupboard or whatever out the way, and you say, oh, I want a posi tool, look, and you pick it up like that. You can see the ends. You can see what you got there. These are, I know these just by the feel and that. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Vacuum Man 8. Just showing you a couple of tools. Just showing you my latest set of tools. What's that?
Nissan's Amazon box.
Oh yeah. What's that? Oh yeah. Yeah, so Dyson, Hoovers, crap. That's good. That's worth having. This one here, We're just going to keep this one handy, but this one mainly is wore out. I bought this one to replace this one, and like you say, I'll just buy things as I need to replace them, mainly. Another thing I would recommend as well, if you're doing old vacuums, is a wooden mallet for banging out those the shafts. I've had problems where I've stripped the ends trying to bash them out of the actual bearings and stuff. So a wooden mallet, I mean, picked ours up at the car boot sale for about 50p. That's a recommended one. I won't go for a new one, just go for an old one. If when the boot sales or whatever starts up again, pick one up there, like, you know. But, you know, it's always good to get new screwdrivers opposed to used ones, unless they're like a snap-on or something like that,
And strap on.
which have got like lifetime warranties on them. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Vacuum Man. Out with how well these screwdrivers get on. You know, I'll let you know on the channel how well they're getting on occasionally, and I'll tell them out, you know, if they're stripping or they're not doing what they're supposed to do with the tin. I went for the laser tip. They do a chisel tip as well. Chisel tips are the ones that you use. I use this as a chisel sometimes as well. So yeah, another update. My drill that I use for polishing, that one's come to its working, the end of its working life, so it's going to be finished. It's going to be finishing off the garden, and then it's going to go in the trash. The switch is starting to go on it.
What switch?
And the hammer action is always on. Is always on all the time now. So I've got a new one in the box that I bought years ago on sale, just to replace it with. I mainly ran that one into the ground.